Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back on my series on Saturn transits 2017. And today we'll be discussing about the Saturn transit for Virgo moon sign, as you can see on the screen, where it's written number 6. So first of all, please do not get confused because it's showing number 6 as the ascendant, but this video is not going to be dealing with or discussing Virgo ascendant people. It is going to be discussing Virgo moon sign people. So just looking at the screen, please do not get confused. This video is for Virgo moon sign people, meaning which in case moon was placed in your natal birth chart in the zodiac sign of Virgo, then this video is for you. So look at your natal birth chart and see where your moon is placed in. If moon is placed in Virgo, or if moon is placed where number 6 is written, then this video is for you, because the transits, or gochara as it's called in Sanskrit, as per the ancient scriptures, should be considered from the moon sign, not from the ascendant. Now, however, there are certain ancient scriptures which do discuss about the transit of planets from the ascendant as well, but the rules are completely different. So this video is specifically gonna be covering the transit of Saturn, which is happening in 2017 for Virgo moon sign people. Please make a note of it. So as we know that Saturn is a very, very important transit for all of us. Why? Because it stays in one zodiac sign for approximately 2.5 years. And in this transit, which is happening on January the 26th, 2017, this is going to be a special transit. Why? Because the impact of this transit is going to be felt for 36 months, not 30 months, which is normally the case. And you're going to ask me why. It is because after moving from Scorpio zodiac sign into Sagittarius zodiac sign on January 26th, 2017, the planet Saturn will come back to Scorpio zodiac sign a few times, and then it'll go back and forth a few times into Sagittarius, and this will extend its impact on Sagittarius sign for an additional 6 months. Okay, so finally, when Saturn moves into Capricorn from Sagittarius in the next transit, it will be January of 2020, which is 36 months, not 30 months. So please make a note of it. Although 90% of the time Saturn is going to be staying in Sagittarius, but for an additional 6 months, it'll come back to Scorpio from time to time. I do not want to confuse you by giving you those dates, but this is why this transit is so important. So how is the transit of Saturn for the zodiac, or not the zodiac, the moon sign Virgo, going to impact them? Okay, how is it going to impact Virgo moon sign people? So as you can see on the screen, the arrow is pointing that the Saturn's position, which was third from the moon, is going to be now fourth from the moon. So whenever Saturn transits fourth from the natal moon, unfortunately it's a very tough time. It's called the Dhaya, the tough 2.5 years period. Okay, it is a very, very tough time. So I'm gonna have to warn you here and not scare you, of course. And why? Because we'll discuss later on in the video. So but first, let me tell you what impact, or what negative impact will it have for Virgo moon sign people. Well, first of all, the most negative impact for Virgo moon sign people is going to be in the area of profession. Okay, and also in the area of, well, jobs and professions are related. So you know, you'll have all kinds of challenges in terms of not getting a timely promotion, people who are looking for jobs not getting good jobs, what they're looking for. People who are already established in jobs, they may not get recognition in their workspace by their bosses. They may get into problems and arguments and confrontations with their colleagues, with their bosses, with their superiors, and with their subordinates as well. So the area of job and profession is going to be very, very adversely affected for Virgo moon sign people in this transit, which is going to affect them for the next 30 months, but actually 36 months, more or less. Well, when it comes back to Scorpio every now and then, of course, it's not going to impact them as bad, but the overall impact, like I've explained to you, is going to be for 36 months. So please watch out for it. Now, how do you watch out? Well, do not, people who do not have jobs, do not expect to get great jobs. Okay, so set your expectations a little low, and for that you may have to work a little extra harder to find good jobs. People who are already in jobs, set your expectations low. Do not expect promotions and raises and good relationship with your colleagues. Just try to understand that this is a tough period, so you have to be extra careful. And how are you going to be extra careful is by trying to maintain cordial relationships with your colleagues. Do not get into a confrontation. Do not give them a feeling that you're being very competitive with them, and that way things will be smoother for you. Do not argue with your boss, do not argue with your colleagues. Just go with the flow, understanding very well that this is going to be a very tough period as far as Saturn transit for Virgo moon sign people are concerned. Also, extra care needs to be maintained as far as the mother's health is concerned. That is also a very important area where the mother's health is going to be adversely affected. Okay, or your relationship with your mom can be adversely affected because it's going to be moving into the fourth house from the moon, which is not a great transit, and it's going to affect your profession, your job, and relationship with your mother, and even health related to your mom is concerned. Okay, as far as relationship with the spouses are concerned, that's also an area of concern. So you try to maintain good cordial relationships with your spouse. As far as relationship with other family members is concerned, that is also an area of concern, because this daya generally, it'll give you problems in pretty much all areas of life. So be very, very cautious and very careful. There'll be obstructions, there'll be delays in all matters, romance or marriages, or especially mother's health, of course, has to be watched out very, very carefully. As far as your own health is concerned, yes, that is an area of concern as well. So please, try to take good care of yourself. Try to get into some kind of a good diet and a good exercise, or a yoga or a pranayama, or whatever you feel is going to be good for your health. Do not plan any major long travels. Okay, so if you're going out for business, first of all, not a great area to get into a business relationship. Also a great time to get into a business relationship, rather. And also, if you do get into a business relationship, do not plan business trips, long business trips, even pleasure trips. Try to cut down on that. You cannot, obviously, we all have to take vacations, but then of course, try to cut down on, like, instead of taking a long distance relationship, maybe to a European country, or to the West, very long from India, try to plan short vacations where you can come back, um, in a timely fashion, because that, pilgrimages also. Try to plan pilgrimages, but don't plan something very extreme like going to the Mount Kailasha, or what's that lake, Mansarovar Lake kind of a thing. Don't plan that, because this is a tough period. I'm gonna have to tell you that. Now, at the same time, the brighter side is that look at the transits of other planets. For example, the transit of Jupiter, which is also a very important transit. Why? Because it stays in one zodiac sign for a long time. One, and second, Jupiter is all about auspiciousness and growth and happiness, and Jupiter is about expansion. So in case the transit of Jupiter is favorable for you, please check out my earlier videos on Jupiter transits. Then, of course, a major portion of this tough Saturn transit in the fourth house, called the Daya, can be balanced to a great extent. And also look at your dashas, the operating periods of planets as per your natal birth chart, in case that part is also good for you. Those dashas are favorable to you. The periods operating by other planets are favorable to you, then look at those, and if they are favorable to you, then of course many of this tough challenges because of the Saturn transit into the fourth house from natal moon can be balanced to a great extent. So God has given us that kind of a relief, that it does not give always negative things in our lives. He helps us by giving us some kind of a breather, some kind of a balancing energy which can balance the negative energy which is flowing into your life. And we need to understand these transits. Why? Because we can just become a little more careful. We cannot change destiny because it's all as per the God's plan, and that's why Vedic astrology explains us as to what we are and what planets are operating, how they are affecting us, so that we understand and we get prepared for it. And also at the same time, we can take corrective measures, like being careful in those areas of our lives. Like, for example, this transit, you have to be extremely careful as far as your mother's health is concerned. So that's the purpose of astrology. But then do not expect that it'll change your destiny. Like I said, do not get overly worried, because other transits of planets other than Saturn may be favorable for you. So it'll balance some of the negative effects of the Saturn transit. Also, the dashas or operating periods could be favorable to you, which can balance some of the negative effects of this Saturn transit. And if they are not favorable, then of course you're in a little more trouble. But do not go and perform general remedies which you can pick up from the internet or YouTube. There are no general remedies. In case you want real Vedic remedies, go to a good Vedic scholar or a Vedic astrologer who can guide you as to how to deal with some of the negative transits that may be affecting you, some of the negative dashas that may be affecting you. That's one thing I want to make very clear. Do not just pick up any general remedy and start doing it. So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and in the meanwhile I will recommend subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There is a link below, and I'll see you with an interesting topic, or maybe a continuation of my series on Saturn transits very soon. Goodbye.